I think my durability and also understanding failure. Baseball is a failure sport. And I think that's why we're losing a lot of the kids, because no one wants to fail. Everyone wants to succeed. Everyone wants the fast rewards. And unfortunately, it's not there. I mean, you love to hear those stories about those journeymen who been in the minors for 10 years and they're like, maybe there's a chance. And when they get that chance, you're like, bravo. I always knew that you had to pick yourself up. I always knew my success, there was someone who failed. So I never showed up a pitcher. You can look back at the grand slam I hit against the Yankees in 2000. I think in today's age, if someone hits a grand slam, they're going to be rooting around the bases. And I know the job's not done.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Masters of the Game. Today, I am so pumped to be joined by Mr. Johnny Damon. Johnny, welcome, man.
Thanks for having me, Matt. Great to be here. And yeah, it was a great run I had. So I can't believe it's been 14 years since I've been out. So it's amazing how time flies.
Time flies for sure. And it was funny. I was telling one of my best friends that I was having you on the interview, and I'm like, what do you want me to ask him? First comment he made, he goes, what was the inspiration behind the Jesus hair back on the World Series run? So the nice long flow, which looks like he got going again, but that was his first question.
Well, that was definitely a great World Series run. It came because of my concussion in 2003, because I got knocked out and somehow I came back and only missed 2 games. I never should have played. I was wiped out, and I would start the game and then I would kind of just sit around and mope and go like, holy smokes, I have nothing to give this team. I couldn't even jump for Giambi's home run. I couldn't be Johnny Damon out there. So during the off season, I was so beat up, so lazy. I had to go to the chiropractor a lot. I had no time to get my hair cut. So it just kept on growing and growing. And then one day I wake up from hibernation, and February 1st, I was like, spring training is right around the corner around February 15th. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, I have to start doing something. And I lived in a community that has a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit for cars. So I was like, I've got to at least make this fun, try to get my body back into the mode. And so I would start racing cars down the street. Got in shape very quickly. I mean, thank God I was, how old was I back then? 30 years old. Yep. So it's not a lot easier back then than now, being 51, so it's like got in shape pretty quick, show up to spring training. Theo took a look at me and he said, you're not cutting a thing. We're the Boston Red Sox. Fuck the Yankees and what they do. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm keeping it. And he goes, keep the beard too. I was like, all right, I'll keep the beard too. But if Gillette comes to me and offers me some money to shave, it will grow back in like 3 or 4 days. So just letting you know.
It's so good. So good. Well, and for those of you, watching, not familiar with Johnny, right? I mean, as I say on all these episodes, like, you got to go study the best, right? The people who've done it and stayed at such a high level for a long time. I mean, 21 years in the bigs, played for a number of different teams, right? From, Kansas City Royals, where you started, Athletics, Boston Red Sox, like you mentioned. Then you went to the hated Yankees. We'll talk about that because I'm just fascinated by that. Tigers, Rays, Indians. You also played in the 2013 World Baseball Classic for Thailand, played on the national team, 2 times World Series champion. I mean, just like, what a run that you look at, like you said, right? First question that pops in my head, honestly, is how did you like survive and thrive for 21 years in the big leagues? Because that's like unheard of these days, right? That's so rare, Johnny.
Yeah, so I would have to correct a little bit. 21 years of professional baseball. I played 3 years in the minor leagues, and I got called up from Double-A. And played 18 years in the big leagues and never played another minor league baseball game. I went on the DL one time in my career. It was during the All-Star break, and I only missed 8 games, but I am one of 3 guys who played 140 plus games for 16 straight seasons, and that's Brooks Robinson and Willie Mays. And you would probably think Kyle Ripken would be in this, but there was a strike during that time.
Right.
There's also some stats like 30 doubles and 100 runs from leadoff spot for 10 straight years. No one else has done it. A lot of great things that I was able to accomplish on this field. Most hits. I know you're in Colorado, and Blackman
Yes.
was the stud hitter there, and he went on those streaks where he had 22 hits in 5 games. And whenever he went on those streaks, they're like, the other players, oh, Johnny Damon had 25, Johnny Damon had 24, Johnny Damon had this or that. So sometimes you do need to get streaky. And when I got hot, I mean, they would like pitch around me and even go up against our number 3-hole hitter, you know. So it's or 2-hole hitter wherever I was hitting. So people knew once I got hot, they're like, okay, we can't give them something to hit. But then again, if you walk me, I have the chance to steal second, possibly third on the same play.
Yeah, you're a threat in multiple ways, right?
Yeah.
On the base paths or just at the plate.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely helped me. I mean, I was a track star as well. I was going to run track for the University of Florida. I played baseball for them, but the Kansas City Royals came calling, and I didn't come from much. You know, my dad was a retired military guy. My mom was from Thailand. She was a maid. And so I took the offer and paid down their bills. And, you know, never looked back. And it would have been a lot different for me nowadays with the NIL if I could go to college and still get paid and take care of my parents. But then again, you never know what's going to happen. You know, I could have got hurt. I could have got anything could happen in college. Yes. So the minor leagues was pretty much my college. And then I got called up at the age of 21 when I would have been a junior, and never looked back.
When you look back, what were some of your, like, we'll call them like secrets to success? But again, like such a long career, but like what allowed you to like get to that level and then stay at that level, right? And I get the whole like I was getting hot, all that sort of stuff, but was it the preparation? Like, what was it about just you were able to play at such a high level for such a long time?
Well, I think the biggest thing is my durability, and you know they make kids in Florida very tough. You know, my elementary schools and junior high or middle school, high school, we were tough. I mean, there were a lot of fights going on all the time. You had to protect yourself. You had to have street smarts. But I was built like this when I was 13 years old. I was 6'1", 180 pounds, very fast. These guys on the track would always make fun of me, saying, you have no chance. They called me Ivan Drago, like from Rocky, because I had my mohawk and all that stuff. And they're like, Drago, you have no chance. And then I would just go out there and just blow them away. But I think my durability and also understanding failure. Baseball is a failure sport. And I think that's why we're losing a lot of the kids, because no one wants to fail. Everyone wants to succeed. Everyone wants the fast rewards. And unfortunately, it's not there. I mean, you love to hear those stories about those journeymen who been in the minors for 10 years and they're like, maybe there's a chance. And and when they get that chance, you're like, bravo. Yep. And so I always knew that you had to pick yourself up. I always knew my success, there was someone who failed. So I never showed up a pitcher. You can look back at the grand slam I hit against the Yankees in 2004. I think in today's age, if someone hits a grand slam, they're going to be rooting around the bases. And I'm just, I know the job's not done. You know, I remember what happened the year prior. So no smile, game's not over. And then my second one, same thing. I smiled a little bit after the game, but the curse was still there. We still had to beat the St. Louis Cardinals, who nobody gave us a shot because of their offense. But we had a pretty good offense too. We had pitching. So, but you have to, I always stayed even keel. And as I mentioned, your best swing can turn into a line drive to the second baseman, and your worst swing can turn into a blooper down the left field line, clears the bases, and you're sitting there going, all right, what a game.
Yes. Yeah, we always hear like, don't get too high, don't get too low, kind of have that even keel.
That's why most baseball players people meet out, they're really good. They're really not jerks or anything because we understood the path. I mean, maybe if you get someone at dinner and they have a bite going down their mouth, but baseball players are really cool people. You may find some bad ones, but for the most part, baseball players and hockey players are, I've always seen to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Being a baseball guy, not at your level, Johnny, but I think we're a good group. I agree. In those moments, I'm curious because you're going to have the highs, you're going to have the lows, right? And to your point, that's the funny thing, right? Of like every sport you look at, but baseball, to your point, you get the worst swing could clear the bases and score a bunch of runs. Your best swing, I mean, you just light into it and boop out, right? Because it's just hit so perfectly right at somebody. So it's kind of like, what do you do with that? How do you maintain the confidence no matter kind of what happens, right? And how did you like mentally work through? Because a lot of athletes, like we get into that self-talk, right? Of like, I can't get a hit today, or I can't make a pass today, like whatever sport you're playing. How did you stay mentally just like, were you a positive guy? Were you like really hard on yourself? Like, what was that like for you? How did you play yourself out?
I wasn't hard on myself at all. I knew it's tough. I knew this guy on the mound is trying to get me out too. And I know you have to battle. So every chance, even if you're not feeling good, you try to battle. And even if I battled and broke a bat, I knew I was hustling down the line to avoid a double play, which I did so many times in my career, or I would break up a double play where we would extend the inning and then we therefore would score a couple more runs that inning. And that happened in game 4 of our comeback. I had a horrible series. The fans of Boston were calling for Tito Francona to bench me. And Tito was like, we're only here because of Johnny's great year. So I struggled, but I kept plugging away, hit a ground ball, hustled. So the inning wasn't over. And therefore, we were able to score 2 of the important runs that we needed after Dave Roberts steal, or I should say Kevin Millar walk, Dave Roberts steal, Bill Miller's single up the middle. So that doesn't happen. That doesn't put us, give us a tie game if you don't hustle. And that's one thing you can control in baseball is your hustle. And everything else, I mean, it's a tough game and you just have to plug along. And that's why, I always bring my A game. And I see your one of your books in the back, Tim Tebow, great friend of mine. He didn't have the exceptional weapons that NFL quarterbacks possess, but he had the heart. There's a lot of these guys getting drafted right now who haven't even showed they can win in college. But Tim Tebow was able to win in the NFL level and wasn't given that opportunity. But, he had his faith in God. He had his faith in himself and his family. So, great inspiration. Even when I hear Tim talk now, I'm like, holy smokes, this guy is so good. And just a great human being.
As a Broncos fan, I got to a point where I would just turn the game on probably with a couple minutes left when Tebow was quarterback. So I'm like, oh, he'll probably pull it out, but I won't watch the game till the end. So,
man.
But he had the heart, right? And the work ethic and all that sort of stuff. When you look at like your background and players you came across, is like having that work ethic, guy just doing the work. Is that one of the the ingredients to like a successful career? Like, do you have to have that?
Well, fortunate thing for me, I was always a natural athlete, whether it was soccer, football, track, baseball. But yeah, you have to work. You have to work through the tough times. And I knew what I needed to do. And therefore, I was never hurt. A lot of these guys nowadays, the minute the season's over, they're going to the gym, they're preparing for the following season. But guess what? These guys are blowing out. Your body needs time to rest. I really didn't get going until maybe mid-January, but mostly like February 1st to get ready for spring training because my body needed that rest. And I knew I was getting ready for a grind. And I mean, 6 weeks of spring training. When I was younger, I only needed 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And at the end, I didn't even have a spring training because I had a really good year with Tampa and I couldn't get a job until May 1st. So I missed 6 weeks of spring training, 4 weeks of the first month of the season. And then I go and try to hit major league pitching when I've been trying to hit a golf ball for the entire off season. So,
Yes.
So that last year became very difficult for me. I wish, I know they don't want you to play other sports, basketball or soccer, but I think towards the end of my career, that would have been a fun way for me to stay in shape and be ready to go instead of playing golf and then, oh, you get the call? Let's go and try to hit baseballs.
So that's interesting, right? You think about that time gap. So let's say you get into October, right? In the best case scenario. And then you're taking off like November, December, January, basically 3 months, right?
Right.
And letting your body heal and rest and then kind of go and get ready. It sounds like that recovery was huge your entire career. And now like with A Game, with what you're doing now, right? The hydration and the drink, and we'll talk about that.
Yep.
Like taking care of yourself is like a really important thing. So was that recovery, health, like has that always been a big thing for you?
I always knew my body. Like I always felt when there was a hamstring tweak and I was like, maybe I'll take 2 innings off so I can be in the lineup tomorrow. I knew when not to push it, but I also knew that my off season, you have to clear your mind too. You have to go out there and have fun. You have to go enjoy what you could not enjoy during the course of the season. I mean, granted, yes, we had a lot of great fun nights during the season, but during the off season, you're kind of like, all right, this is awesome. And, you know, having all the kids that I have, you know, that was our time to connect more because they would have me from 8 in the morning until say 2 o'clock. And then it was to the ballpark. And when I came back home, they're sleeping. So it's so a lot of reconnection with your kids. And I noticed a big difference when I was done playing because we still had 4 kids when I was done playing. And I could just see the connection with the 4 younger ones. Like the other ones kind of do things on their own. They love me and all, but they're kind of like, oh, we got used to you not being around as much. So, I mean, yes, it's difficult, but you also have to, they also have to learn someday how to, you know, take care of themselves. I had to take care of myself at a young age with my mom working 3 jobs, my dad working 2 jobs after being retired. I had to learn how to cook, cut the grass, do the dishes. Because when my mom came home from work, she's been cleaning all day long. I didn't want her to come home and clean. And, you know, my brother and I were totally different. My brother, didn't know how to do much. He was a great athlete, but I knew I had a big heart to take care of my mom. And therefore, she called me, she called my brother Boy, and she called me Sweetheart. So that tells you a lot. So Sweetheart and Boy.
It's so true. It's so true. Well, you have a good heart for like all the stuff you do now and you're involved with. And so take me back a little bit. Was your dream to play Major League Baseball?
Of course. It's every kid's dream. Yes. I know there are some bumps in the road, and you're like, oh, let me play a little football. And then I just didn't love it. I didn't love being a defensive back. If I was a receiver or a running back, because I could catch anything, I could take a hit. I wasn't a great tackler. And when Warren Sapp's a All-American tight end for another team, and he's coming across the middle at 260 pounds, that's not favorable for anybody. So I knew after that season, I was done because year-round baseball came. And it wasn't a grind on us like it is on the parents nowadays, because I was old enough to drive. We had one game a week that the All-Stars of Central Florida would show up, like Mark Bellhorn, Jamie Arnold. We had this kid named Kevin Chabot. Jason Bell, who went to Oklahoma State.
Yep.
We all played against each other in high school. We had Paul Wilson. He joined our summer team. So, yeah, we met once a week. We played, we kicked butt, and then, won a couple of summer championships and fall championships. And, yeah, it was good stuff. But it wasn't 3 or 4 times a week where you had to go practice. And John Hart was running this camp here in Central Florida during Christmas time. And, he got to see me as a 9th grader, and he always wanted me. He just needed Paul Shuey in 92 to get to the big leagues as quick as he can to help that team try to win a World Series.
Yes. What was the biggest jump for you? I mean, obviously going to, the minor leagues pretty quick. What was the biggest jump for you from going Double-A to the majors?
Well, okay, so I sign with the Royals. I go to the Gulf Coast League, rookie ball, go there, win the MVP, about 30 games or so. We win the championship, head off to Rockford the following year. And that was a little tougher because now I'm 19 years old and I'm playing against guys who are mostly 21 to 25 years old. And that was tough. I still had a great year because of my speed. I hit 290. Larry Sutton on our team won the MVP. He was tremendous, made the playoffs. But this is how I look at the NFL draft and college quarterbacks staying a little bit longer, because if you're a 23-year-old college quarterback and now you have these kids 18, 19 years old, you're going to pick their brains. And it's kind of like how minor league baseball was. Like, you're like, okay, this kid doesn't know this yet. So that's why these 23-year-old quarterbacks just light it up. And then they get their draft values up and they're ready to rock and roll. And then I went to Wilmington, Delaware, had a great year. Larry Sutton won the MVP of that league again. He was such a great first baseman and hitter. We won the championship. We won 100 games, 44 losses. And so the following year, I go to Double-A. They moved from Memphis to Wichita, shorter fence, and I'm just going off. 16 home runs by August. So our season, April, May, June. Yeah, so I put up MVP numbers and without even playing the last month and a half.
Yes.
And I wasn't playing this one day. We were in Midland, Texas, and great manager, Ron Johnson. I walk into the clubhouse and I'm not in the lineup because he gave me a day off a couple of days prior. And I was like, is there a reason? Just want to know. Jack, relax.
Logical question.
Did I do something wrong? Because I was a good kid. He goes, everyone, Johnny is here complaining that he's not in the lineup. What do you think about this Marshall kid here? What do you think about this kid over here? They never get to play. So I'm letting them play. And the reason why you're not playing is because you're going to the show. And I was like, okay, so going to the show, like do they call AAA the show? And I'm like, because they wanted me to stay behind this kid named Darren Burton because he strong arm, switch hitter, great defender, and he just wasn't putting up the averages, the runs produced. So they're like, no, silly, you're going to Kansas City.
Wow.
We'll get everything lined up for you and get you to Wichita so you can pack up your car, take that drive up to Kansas City. And the first thing I thought about was, oh, shoot, we're playing the Mariners. It's my first game going to be against Randy Johnson. And I was like, Randy pitched the night prior. So I was like, well, at least that's off my mind. And got to face Tim Belcher my first game. And he became a teammate of mine in Kansas City years later. But Tim Belcher has given up so many first hits in the big leagues. Like Derek Jeter's one of them. But so many first hits.
You set a record for giving up first hits to some legends. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. Was it like a euphoric feeling, or was it like, oh, yep, this is pretty laid back, like, yep, it's the next stage? And
Yeah, it was interesting because I didn't own a cell phone at the time. I mean, they were barely around. So I get to the hotel and I start calling everybody I know. Well, there's no answer, because I have to call their house and they're not home or they're sleeping. So it's like I didn't talk to anyone until the next day. And so until I got to Kansas City, I didn't really have anyone in the stands for me. It was like we couldn't communicate. So that was a bit strange because now everything's production. The whole family of 25 shows up for an opening game. Well, it wasn't quite like that. And the TV market was a lot different, especially for the Kansas City Royals back then. I mean, we would probably be on national TV 5-6 times a year. And like we had a great offensive team in Kansas City during my time there. I mean, one of the best offenses. We led the league in hitting in the year 2000 with a 288 batting average. And the past year, 263 led. But I mean, we were ridiculous. We had myself leading off, Ray Sanchez, Mike Sweeney, Jermaine Dye, Joe Randa, Mark Quinn, and Sal Fasano. Just a great team. And that was my college. Those are the guys I grew up with, and those are the guys that I'm always going to have a deep affection for. And we still connect, probably more so than all the other teams that I played with. I mean, these guys are my what's that? My fraternity brothers.
Yes. Yeah, I mean that was when you grew up. I mean, you grew up and continued growing up, right? But that was kind of the critical phase of like you're not that old, right? And you're getting to grow with these guys and figure out the big league game and what it's about and how to carry yourself. And it's a huge bond. And you were there, what, 5 years?
It was about 5.5 years. And they wanted to sign me long term. And, they offered me a great contract. But they said, if you take this contract, we may have to trade Mike Sweeney or Jermaine Dye. And I was like, I can't live with myself because I knew we all love playing in Kansas City. Kansas City did a great job. They made sure we stayed there during the off season. They would help us buy a house, pay for the house. So we would do our charity events. We would probably hit about 20 different charities, the hospitals, the schools, all that stuff during the off season. So nobody wanted to leave Kansas City. We just wanted pitching. And we also wanted David Glass to spend some of that Walmart money so we can get better. I mean, our payroll was $16 million, I believe, in 96, and it slightly went up. And tough to compete. And when you blow more games than you actually save games, that's a problem. And when you're sitting around 500, I mean, you win 10 more of those games, we're in the playoffs and showing the world what we can do. And we never had that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, and you find out more and more in pro sports too. You got to spend money, right? And there's some teams that come out of the woodwork, like Cleveland now to this today, and Oakland's had their moments and stuff like that. But small markets, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult. You have to hit the right timing, and then you have that small window. And then when that window passes, these guys, the salaries out there, these guys are talking to the big dogs. And the Dodgers, Yankees, and Mets right now are doing it.
And spending some cash too, for sure. Yes. So I want to talk about your World Series teams for a minute, because what was different about those teams, right? You did it twice, but what was different about those teams? Because, I mean, look at those beauties. Oh, it's so nice. So nice. But obviously it takes the team's got to be on the same page. They got to be driving towards, I'm curious, whether that was true or not, but what was so special about those teams? What was done differently? And I get the spending and you get the talent level, sure, but there's got to be between coaching and the team dynamic, what made you guys elevate to that sort of level to be able to compete and win?
I just think everything moved smoothly. There was no issues. We had a great team in Boston with Grady Little. We went into the season, we don't need a closer. And it's well, if we don't have a closer, who do we give the ball to in Game 7 when Pedro's getting tired? So going into 2004, we spent some money. We got Kurt Schilling, Keith Falk, and we brought on Mark Bellhorn. I mean, Todd Walker was such a great hitter. So we definitely missed his bat at times. But Terry Francona, I mean, he was a perfect manager for us. Schilling had him in Philadelphia before, so it made his transition easy. The guys, we all got along like a family. We all were still crushed from 2003. I mean, we will never forget that. Even though winning in 2004, we had some guys who never had the opportunity to win. Some guys took off to other teams. Some guys retired, like Ellis Burks. But I believe Ellis was with us a little bit in 2004. So he was able to win. But having a veteran like him around was just huge. And everything went smooth. And we had each other's back. If someone failed, we pretty much said, I got you. And there was no stress. And we had a great time. We rode our motorcycles to the ballpark. We would meet at lunch a few times. And everything was just perfect.
How did Terry manage you all?
He let us go do our thing. He understood the game. He played a long time. He managed a long time. He always said, if you need a breather, let me know. But he and Grady had the same philosophy. He's like, I will let you know when I can give you a breather, but you will never have a breather at Fenway Park, because these fans set up family vacations to come watch you play. And he's like, you're going to play for the Red Sox fans. And if we're in Seattle, maybe you take a day off and maybe pinch hit or whatnot, go out, sign some autographs, whatnot. So they had the clubhouse was just jiving, and everything was working perfect for us.
Well, and I always love asking this question, right? Because when you have somebody that experienced, right, then they understand the game, they played the game. You're working with professionals, right? So it's, in theory, they should know how to approach the game. In theory, I think sometimes we make a lot of assumptions of even in business too, right? Well, that person should have that skill set. Well, maybe they don't.
Right.
You never know. Did did he ever have to come down on like certain players, or how would he kind of provide feedback if people weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing or weren't performing? How did he give that feedback and like kind of call it the art of influence, but like motivate them or get on them? Like, how did he do that?
He pretty much just talked to them like a human being, and sometimes joked, but we were all professionals there. Like we knew how to take care of our locker room. I can honestly say when I was with the Red Sox or the Yankees, there was never an issue that was off the field. I mean, with the Yankees, it was a little tougher with the, A-Rod situation, but I was able to nix that really quick because they were trying to act like A-Rod committed murder. It was like, no, it's like, made a mistake. He wants to be the best baseball player ever. That's it. Yeah. Stop beating him down. So whenever those guys would get in trouble or whatnot, they're like, well, this is going on. What do you think about it? I'm like, well, we lost the game because I didn't get a hit in the first inning. Like I would always take the blame for a loss. And a lot of people told me why. And I was like, because I can. Because I've been loved and hated at every ballpark. I've been booed when I was in high school. I've been booed everywhere. And Reggie Jackson always told me they don't boo nobodies. So I could take the blame. I could take the hit, and I'll keep plugging forward. I'm tough.
Yeah.
I can take it. Some people can't.
Was it just the upbringing that built that kind of toughness? I mean,
my parents were awesome. I mean, they let me do my thing. I mean, I know for some of your audience members, like what I mentioned, my parents worked. I had to start driving myself to a few places when I was 12 years old. And, and I did what I had to do. And I grew up fast. As I mentioned, I cut the grass. I learned how to cook. I learned how to keep the house tidy. And still to this day, I mean, my house is very tidy. It's a reflection of me if things are nasty, if they're out of place. So I always made sure that in my life that everything was organized and to my liking and to my family's liking.
Yes. I love that. Well, it's interesting too, right? Because like, what's the quote? Is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Is that the quote? I'm probably saying it wrong.
Well, hey, A game every moment, man.
A game every moment.
Yeah. I mean, why not? When you have the opportunity to be your very best. And that's why I'm so happy about my drink. And I'll get into it real quick.
Because why'd you start it? How'd you start it? Like, tell us about it.
Okay. So in 2012, it was a very hot summer down south. It's always a hot summer down south now.
Yes.
But a few kids passed away. They died. They were dehydrated. And unfortunately, we lost them. So my childhood buddy and I wanted to come out with a drink that was clean. No artificial coloring, no artificial flavors, no forever chemicals, only the good stuff. Like sea salt is our hydration. Honey is our sugars, and just the balance of the ingredients. It works for you. I mean, and it tastes great. A lot of these cleaner drinks don't taste great. And A game, I mean, you got to bring your A game for every single moment of every single day. And we've got a great team behind us. Like I brought on Bo Jackson a couple of years ago, perhaps the greatest sport athlete ever. We have Tyler Adams with the World Cup coming. Good chance he's going to be the captain. We're not sure if Pulisic is going to be playing, but
yes.
Tyler's doing a great job with Bournemouth in the Premier League right now. Caleb Downs just won the national championship with Ohio State. And we just locked in Gary Brecka. So Make America Healthy Again movement. And So there's a lot of great synergy going. And once again, you always got to bring your A game.
Yes. We'll put links to everything, right? So people can go check it out, try it, buy it, spread the word, because you and I talked before we got on, right? That my wife, with her nutrition background and kind of what I do now too, right? It's all about like how you take care of yourself. You talked about recovery, right? There's certain recovery during the baseball season or outside of that. It's just like how we treat our bodies has a massive impact on our mind, on our business, on our sport, on relationships, on the kind of every area of life, right? So it's the movement's here, right? It's been brewing for a while, and
Yes.
it's here, and it's in the house, right? It's not even at the doorstep anymore. Like, it's in your house.
Yeah. Well, now you have people fighting for us. We're not fighting for the big industries to keep on making their money. I mean, they find the cheapest way to feed people. I know the preservatives in the U.S. are so different from all the other countries. And
Yes.
yeah, shelf life lasts a lot longer, but if you're putting awful stuff in your body, it's awful. But I know you have a wide audience. I know in the Northeast, we're in Shaw, Stop and Shop, ShopRite, Giant. Down south, we're in Winn-Dixie. Publix will be like later this year. Piggly Wiggly's been huge for us in the South. Rouse's in Louisiana. We have Central Market in the Dallas area. And there's a lot of other stores that are popping up. You can check us out at drinkagame.com. You can go to Amazon. And soon, hopefully, we'll have our own Shopify. And we're making powders soon as well. So it's going to be
Awesome.
A great experience. And we're going to have Gary Brecka help us make the ultimate hydration powder, because he's the ultimate human, powered by A Game. So a lot of great synergy going.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We talk a lot about like, transferable skill sets, right? From sports to business and sports to careers and all this sort of stuff, right? What have you been able to leverage from like sports to kind of what you do now? And then on the flip side, what's the biggest learning you've had starting a business like this?
Well, the biggest thing is it's tough. I mean, we're going up against Goliath. We're going up against Pepsi and Coke, the Gatorades and Powerades. And you want to take a small part of that market. You want to give everybody a better product. And we feel like we have that. A-Rod from day one has the business sense. He probably thought about that more than he thought about baseball a lot, but his business sense has always been top notch. And I'm like, holy smokes. I think my biggest quality is the human factor, that when I'm walking down the street, people will gravitate to me more so than many other athletes, because they know that I'm approachable. They know that, I'm a man's man. Girls like my look too. And it's like everybody likes who I am, because I'm true. I don't lie. I'm straightforward. And at the end of the day, I'm a super nice guy. So I think that's what's created a lot of my friendships and connections throughout my business world and after the sports world. So, continue to be a great quality human being, and great things will happen. I'm not searching for anything. Like, I have so much great things in front of me. I'm not searching for something better. Everyone wants to have more money. So with me having more money, I'm going to take care of more charities. I'm going to take care of more little leagues. I'm going to give back a lot more.
Yes.
Of course, I'm going to have some fun with it too. But, at the end of the day, it's all about making the people around you happy every time they see you. And when I say that, I have to go back a couple of days ago. Artovio Dotel died in the Dominican. And
yes,
every time I saw him, I was happier. and it hurts because he was always bum, 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 bum. I mean, such a great human and heartfelt.
What a mark he left on you, right?
Yeah, I would see him every year, probably at Big Poppy's event, maybe at one of Pedro's event, and every time and we only played together for a couple months, but every time we played against each other, it was all hugs, all smiles, just a great person.
Well, the joy to your point, like the joy we, I guess, have that choice to either spread or not every day with everybody we come in contact with.
And
again, authentic to him, right? Authentic to you, but like be yourself, but at the same time, spread the joy a little bit, right? And
yeah, for sure. I mean, be happy with the blessings you have, and like I said, everyone's searching for better, bigger, and I've got some great things going. I mean, I have a beautiful wife. I have 8 kids. I have a compound. I'm testing the waters in the business area, and hopefully it does very good. But at the end of the day, if it does really good, that means a lot of these young athletes, these weekend warriors, are getting a better hydration as well.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing. You can fill it up with all kinds of chemicals and sell it like a lot of these other companies, but I'm never going to get down to that level just to make a buck.
Yeah. Well, you're seeing the evolution happen, right? And again, like we said, then health and everything. And you see companies like Poppy come up and redefining, soda. Now you got A Game coming up and redefining like what we fuel ourselves with, especially as athletes and coaches. And it's like get on the train, right?
Yeah.
It's moving quick and there's amazing things happening. We lived in Switzerland for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And to your point about like the difference in food quality, I was very thankful. My wife and I still talk about it, that the Swiss, and this is true of Europe and other countries, right? I'm just, from my experience, the Swiss have very high standards of food. And so we'd go to the store every 2 days and you had to.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise the chicken's got mold on it. And we have a McDonald's burger over kind of in the kitchen behind me that was purchased in April of 2019. We still have it. It's rock hard. There's not one bit of mold on it. And we keep it just as an example of like, again, maybe it fills your belly, but like that can't be good if like there's no mold on it. So I'm probably not getting any endorsements from McDonald's at the moment for that comment, but it matters. But and McDonald's in Europe is different. It's different.
Yeah. I mean, this life is a lot shorter than people think. I mean, I'm 51 now. It's like, holy smokes, I'm like 2/3 of the way through. And I want to try to, I would love to say that I'm halfway through, but damn, it's, And if you can take care of your body and you can, at least you can live better without those aches and pains, without the, you want to live happy and, I guess, pass peacefully.
Yes. Yes. So last question for you. This is a big one. It's a pretty open-ended one, Johnny, but we have a lot of athletes listening right now, right? And they're trying to figure out, how do I get that next level? Maybe that they have that dream of major leagues, but maybe it could be, I always say kind of like, I just want to play varsity baseball, right? As a first step in high school, or I want to be able to get that opportunity in college, or maybe it is the major someday. What advice would you give them to position themselves to have the best chance to be successful? What do they need to do in your mind?
Well, first, I want to make sure that they love what they're doing. If it's stressful for them to go to the field every day, I mean, think of something that's going to make you the happiest. And I know baseball makes people happy. The reason why I played baseball was to get a college scholarship, because I knew my parents could not afford to send me to college. So I wanted to make them happy. And things just kept going well in my favor. Like I looked at baseball like this is something that I enjoy doing. Then you watch the kid Ken Griffey, and you're like, huh, I would like to, be like him. And you see Barry Bonds, and I'm like, okay, that's my goal. And then obviously those two of the top 10, maybe
Yes.
two of the top 5 ever that play the game. But yeah, you had goals, and I had goals. And the number one, be happy, understand the rise and fall, of failures and its successes. And the top thing is to be a great teammate. Go support your friend, because your friends that you're playing with right now are going to be your best friends down the road. Like I'm friends with all my buddies from Little League and high school, and they're my best buds. I don't see like all the other guys all the time. There's a strong connection to Central Florida, especially with our like the talent level. Like we had Wakefield, we had Veritech, we had Bellhorn, the Sconic, all from Central Florida. Then you also had Ricky Weeks, Felipe Lopez, you had Zach Greinke, Paul Wilson. So it was like Tim Raines was like the original GOAT. And then when I surpassed him in hits and stuff, I made sure Westy for the Tampa Bay Rays got me the lineup, said the most hits by a Central Florida oh, baseball player, because I thought it was a big deal, because Tim Raines was like someone I could emulate my game with speed and just passion. And yeah, so that was a big deal. But when I passed Ted Williams in hits, I was like, that's pretty cool. I know he served a lot of years in the military, but passing Ted Williams in anything is unbelievable. Yes. But all the kids, go out there, have fun, and also think of another trade. If baseball works out, fantastic, but make sure you learn how to make money a different way, whether you want to be an accountant. There's a lot of jobs in the sports industry. You could be an announcer, you can be a clubby, you can become a general manager, you can do all this stuff, and even women can. And that's the great thing about baseball, and what is out there now. It's baseball is for everybody, and there's plenty of opportunities if you're not a great enough player.
Yeah. That's amazing advice, right? And as you all, I say this on every interview that I do, right? I hope you guys are taking notes. I really do, because just kind of what, Johnny, you've laid out and what I hope they heard. And it's, again, just taking one thing and implement one thing, right? And I think that even just your point on like the enjoyment you have to have, right? That life is short, and like that's cliche to say, but at the end of the day, it's like if you're not enjoying what you're doing, like you got to either rekindle that joy or go find it in something else, right? Because that makes it all worth it. That makes the grind worth it, and that makes like just what you have to do worth it in the end of the day.
Yeah.
But being a great teammate, all the things that you've laid out are just awesome. And even the story behind the hair, man, I love it. I love it. So,
well, but here's the one job I would tell people with baseball: as being a baseball player doesn't work out for you, be a baseball agent, because your career can last forever. I mean, my agent, Scott Boras, man, he's still getting after it, and paychecks keep on coming in. So it's think about it.
It's a good gig. I love it. I love it. Well, Johnny, I can't thank you enough. I'll kind of wrap us up here and then stay on for a little bit with you, but I just can't thank you enough for taking your time and coming on and talking A game. And again, we're going to put all the links to everything so people can check it out, buy it. I mean, for goodness sake, how easy it is to get on Amazon today and have something show up at your door this afternoon. Crazy. But thank you so much for taking the time. It's so fun. Show the rings one more time. Jealous. I'm jealous over here, man. Come on.
Hey, only Babe Ruth and I, only starters.
That's true.
There's been a couple other guys who have rings from both, but yeah, pretty special. Yeah, anytime you're in a conversation with Babe Ruth, pretty cool.
That's a pretty cool thing. That's so good. Well, everyone, thank you for watching today, for listening. Again, like I said before, it's about studying the best, what they do, the habits they form, the actions that they take, and just deciding to take one small step forward every single day, right? Learn from the best, implement what the best do, and the sky is the limit, I'm telling you, in every area of your life. So take one thing today from our conversation with Johnny, and we'll see you on the next Masters of the Game interview. Thanks, everybody.